Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your April 2018 mid-month general readings. We're looking at the remainder of the last half of April 2018. Time being somewhat fluid, of course. So thank you for joining us here today. Welcome to any newcomers, and as always, thank you for all your likes, shares, subscribes, and to all my new and regular clients out there for keeping me so busy with personal one-on-one readings. And thank you to all of those of you who take the time to write in your comments and how the readings resonate with you. I always appreciate that. If any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me and you haven't read with me before, you've forgotten the information, you can get all that information and my contact details by either looking at the description bar of all the videos I post, or you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage and look at and click on the About button, and you'll see a little more information and my contact details there. I do readings full-time 5 to 6 days a week, so turnaround time for personal readings is usually pretty fast, as that is what I do. I can almost always fit in a live or recorded reading for you within a 2-week period of time. It's usually anywhere from a few days upwards of 2 weeks, but almost always within a 1 to 2 week period of time, depending on the schedule. I do a wide variety of readings: love and romance, career, work, and finance, channeled messages from passed on loved ones, and 6 and 12-month overviews that look at what's coming in all the main areas of your life for 6 or 12 months, depending on how far ahead you want to look. So if you're interested, send me an email at maggie1maguire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to work with you and set something up. So send me an email, we'll go from there. For quick answers to really quick questions, you can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy, and that's also with my contact details. So let's get into this. This April 2018 mid-month reading is for the Earth sign of Virgo. Let's see what's in store for the next couple of weeks for Virgo. These are general readings, so they're always going to resonate a bit differently for everybody watching because there's so many people watching. The details and specifics of how it varies or resonates will differ, but the energy and advice fundamentally always remains the same. If you know your rising and your moon sign, watch those videos as well. They may play out a little more predictably for you or just give you additional insight and clarification into what's going on in your life. Okay, Virgo. Our lovely Virgos. We begin with the Strength card, followed by the High Priestess, the Ten of Wands, 2 cards stuck together here. Okay, so the 6 of Pentacles and then the 10 of Wands. I had 2 cards that were refusing to part. So the first one's the 6 of Pentacles, clarified and accompanied by the 10 of Wands. From the bottom of the deck, your overall energy and guidance is the 7 of Cups. So Virgo, you have 2 major arcana cards here out of 5. The presence of major arcana cards, divine energy, God, spirit, your angels and guides, or advice and guidance as well. And when major arcana cards come out, the presence of them represents it in whatever area of your life it's resonating in or representing in. Sorry. That in that area, or however this reading resonates for you, it looks like they represent significant change or the opportunity for significant change or shifts in something in your life, if not your life as a whole. So we're starting out the middle of the month with 2 major arcana cards. So there looks like there's some significant, I feel, internal work going on, and it looks like something is coming to an end, and you're kind of thinking about what options lie ahead, what you may want to do, what you're transitioning into. There may be some fears and doubts and insecurities about, I keep getting like leaving the nest or leaving either physically or just on a mental and emotional level, leaving something that you've been accustomed to, or maybe some stable help that you've been receiving in order to step out on your own. And there may be some fears and doubts and insecurities about that. Or you may be just kind of considering what the possibilities are. Your crowning card, representing your overall energy, your overall focus for the next couple of weeks, the remainder of April, is the 7 of Cups. Water energy, which is the element which governs cups, and that's emotional energy. It's emotional feelings, relationships as well. The 7 of Cups is a card it can be sometimes a card of fantasy or distraction, illusion. It's kind of a dreamy sort of card. It can be a card of considering a lot of different opportunities or the potential of what might be, kind of daydreaming about what might be. The cautionary, which is a wonderful thing, the cautionary advice which always accompanies the Seven of Cups is that something has to be focused on. You have to be practical and grounded about what you choose and be willing to do the work to accomplish that, because each one of these Seven Cups is filled with something absolutely beautiful and perfect looking, and what it represents is what could be, possibility, potential, options for that. Like, what do I want to do with my life, or what do I want to do with the rest of my life, or what's possible, you know, kind of daydreaming about, like when you were younger, what am I going to do with my life? Maybe I'm going to be dreaming about doing this or that or the other thing, or because it looks like something's coming to an end, and you may be kind of in that space just for the next couple of weeks, kind of maybe daydreaming, fantasizing, mentally kind of going, I wonder if this is possible, and I wonder what would happen if I did this, which is lovely, beautiful energy. But only one of these cups, each one of these goals, the potential that's represented in each of these cups is possible, but all of them together are not possible. So cautionary advice is to pick one of these goals and to figure out what you need to do. Pick one of these dreams, figure out what you need to do on a practical, do the work kind of basis. Set your goals, be willing to put the work into it and start, and that's how you manifest your dreams. That's how you make your dreams become reality. It's not enough just to dream about what you might be capable of. We are capable of wonderful things, but it's about setting that as your dream, figuring out what the goals are to accomplish that, and then actually in a tangible, practical, persevering sort of way, be willing to put the work into it, and that's how we manifest our dreams, what we want. So it looks like the next couple of weeks, the remainder of April, has this kind of dreamy, considering, maybe fantasizing about what options, possibilities, and potentials lie ahead for you. So around the middle of the month or so, always time is fluid. It's a human construct created for us. So around the middle of the month, I am recording these around the 11th or 12th. We have Strength and the High Priestess, two major arcana cards. So some pretty significant energy here, although I think for a lot of you it's internal as well. It's not manifesting so much in a lot of outward action. But strength is about the strength that the strength card represents. It's about facing the strength that is required and comes from facing your fears, your doubts, your insecurities, your anxieties, kind of wrestling with your demons, so to speak, which is what the woman on this card has done. This lion, which she has tamed oh so gently, this lion represents whatever those fears and struggles, those demons we all struggle with sometimes, whatever those are, maybe doubts, self-doubts and insecurities, which I feel may be present for some of you in this. It requires a lot of courage and humility, humility being knowing who we are, to kind of really take a good hard look at ourselves and go, okay, what am I afraid of? What are my fears and doubts and insecurities here? And working through those, facing them, confronting them, moving through them, and on the other side. And we also gain a lot more courage and wisdom and strength from doing that. It's what's required and what we gain more of by doing that. And sometimes it's strength that comes from, and it's an incredible kind of inner strength that comes from looking at ourselves and going, I don't like this particular aspect of myself, and I'm going to do whatever I need to change that and to make it better so I can grow and evolve as a human being, which is why we're here. That requires a lot of strength, and it also is what you gain more of by going through that process. So strength is accompanied and clarified by the High Priestess. The High Priestess is a deeply, incredibly spiritual card. This is about, our spirituality, our intuition, our gut instinct. Our intuition is our connection with divine, with the source, God, spirit, your angels and guides, whatever it is that you title it. Intuition is the conduit, the cable, if you will, through which we get ideas, inspirations, feelings. Some people call it, the gut instinct, our higher self, You know, it's that thing it's not just rational thought, and it's not just, you know, unreliable emotions. It's deeper than that. It's a sense of knowing in our souls or in our stomachs, that intuition of knowing, feeling like we should do a certain thing, or feeling like we're compelled in a certain direction, and it's about actually allowing that to guide you, even if this can be if it comes across as guidance or advice, it can be sometimes a challenge to follow, because when our intuition is telling us one thing, and people around us or the facts or reality of a situation or the world that we live in is telling us something else, it can be difficult to go, no, I need to go this way because it's what I feel is right, or it's where I feel I'm supposed to be, or it's what I feel I really need to do in this situation. And that can be kind of a challenge to do. And some of you, it looks like, are going to be going through that process, and having the strength and courage to do that, even if it maybe conflicts with your external surroundings or people in your surroundings. And some of you, it may be a bit of well, it's always a bit of a struggle, right? To face our fears, our doubts, our insecurities, to follow where our intuition is leading us, particularly if it conflicts with our external environment and people in that environment. And for some of you, this combination of cards may represent that. You may have, as a lot of us do, you may struggle with trusting your own intuition. Because when it conflicts with other people, or it conflicts with our surroundings, particularly with other people, it can be difficult to follow. So some of you who are watching this video, something is coming to an end. You're considering what the possibilities or potentials are. You may be moving into a new area of your life that is stepping outside of your comfort zone, and there's fears, doubts, insecurities about that. You feel like it's the right thing to do, or maybe some of you have started this process because it's a general reading, or some of you are in the prequel, kind of looking at starting this process, and it's about moving through whatever your fears, your doubts, your insecurities are, Virgo. And being willing to step out, have the courage to step out into your own is kind of what I'm getting. So at or towards the end of April 2018, we have the Six of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands. So the Six of Pentacles is earth energy. That's the element which governs this suit, and it usually manifests in the practical areas of our life, or represents tangible efforts of, tangible results of the efforts we put into our life, whether it's, it often manifests in job, career, finances, money, resources, property, assets, tangible things we can see and touch and feel, or it can represent, Pentacles can manifest as, the results of efforts we put into our emotional life and relationships and spiritual path, etc. It's tangible, earthy, practical, hands-on energy. The Six of Pentacles is a card of equality, of mutual give and take, kind of the tit for tat card, equal giving, equal receiving. It can sometimes represent needing to be more open to giving, or more open to receiving, or asking for help. And sometimes it can represent needing to take a look at our relationship with money as well, or take a look at what our relationship is to the tangible money or property or things in our life as well. Because one of the cautionary pieces of advice I often get off the Six of Pentacles is to take a look at where you're spending of yourself, whether that's actual physical dollars and cents, or your time, your efforts, your resources, because this man obviously has enough. He's weighing out all of his wealth, or whatever it is that makes him feel wealthy, as symbolized by these pentacles. He's well dressed, looks like he does pretty well for himself. He's weighing out all of his wealth, his resources, and periodically throwing handfuls of them out the window to these kind of waiting, grasping hands, but he's not really paying attention. He's just kind of throwing it out the window. It can represent maybe taking a look at what your relationship to money is, where you are spending or receiving, and is there a healthy, even balance and relationship to how you view the tangible, practical things in your life, or the people you may be giving to, or the people you may be receiving from. if you're in a position where you've been giving or contributing to something over a long period of time and it has become somewhat of a burden, maybe it's time to take a look at that or bring that to an end. If you've been on the receiving end of something, the same thing, maybe it's time to take a look at that, what your relationship to it, and is it keeping you actually more in a rut? Has that become kind of the focus, and is it keeping you actually comfortable to the point that you're not actually moving out into a path of manifesting your dreams? Because it looks like something is coming to an end there, with some of you maybe on one side of it, some of you maybe on the other, but it looks like something is coming to an end that's been carrying on for some time, because that Six of Pentacles, that giving or receiving, whichever side you're on, or what your relationship to those tangible things in life are, is accompanied by the Ten of Wands. So in the tarot, tends to represent cycles coming to an end, or a culmination, or an achievement point where they either end or they transition into something different. And this is a burden coming to an end or needing to come to an end. Sometimes it can represent, you know, feeling like you've been just carrying this cross or doing this thing or carrying this burden or working at this thing for so long. Maybe it only started out as a couple of wands, but over time it's become heavy and burdensome, as evidenced by the man in this picture. He's carrying these wands successfully. He's not dropping any of them, or if he has, he's managed to pick them back up and keep on, but they're heavy. He can't even stand up straight. Can represent sometimes feeling overwhelmed. This needs to come to an end. It's become too much. Or it is coming to an end. Something is coming to an end. So again, some of you, it may be, maybe you've been, you know, in this kind of comfortable base, receiving help, even practical help, money or finances or resources, or you're leaving a comfortable nest or a stipend or something like that. Some of you may have been on the receiving end. You're contributing, you're giving. It looks like it's time to re-examine that and ask yourself if it's healthy for you to continue doing this. Is this actually keeping you or another person, if you're helping somebody else, keeping them from moving on, and you're afraid to change that because you're afraid of what might happen to you, or if you're capable of achieving potentials that you dream about, or if you're afraid of withdrawing or maybe cutting down or re-examining the help you're giving to somebody else, because you may be afraid that if you stop doing that, that they won't be able to keep going, or you know, it could be, you know, some of you parents maybe contributing for a young person, but maybe doing it past the point that you're actually keeping them from actually getting out and learning how to fly, or vice versa. So it looks like that's coming to an end, or you need to take a look at that, because it feels like somebody is, and some of you, it just may be coming to a natural end and you're stepping out on your own, or vice versa. And some of you, it needs to come to an end. It's still ongoing and it needs to come to an end. And you need to be realistic and practical about that, whether it's you yourself or the resources and help you're giving to somebody else, as evidenced by the Seven of Cups for that overall energy. It's just about all the cards are in the tarot. You can't really label them positive or negative except for a few. The Seven of Cups can be beautiful, dreamy, illusionary energy. We all like to fantasize and daydream about what's possible and the potential of what we could do, what we could accomplish. But at some point, we have to go, okay, which one can I actually accomplish? Choosing that one, setting your goals, being willing to put the work into making that dream a reality and doing that work, because that's how dreams are manifested. So it's not just enough to fantasize. Otherwise, you could spend and waste years of your life or somebody else doing that and actually not having the courage to find out what you are capable of accomplishing, or what somebody else that you've been caring for is capable of accomplishing. So it looks like that's kind of the focus for a lot of you over the next couple of weeks, and it's about trusting your intuition in this too, and having the courage and strength to face whatever side of the story you're on, to face those fears and doubts and insecurities and move on, or let somebody else move on into where they need to be or where you need to be. So it looks like a couple of weeks of maybe some inner contemplation, some courage and strength, and growth and evolving. That's why we're here. So Virgo, that pretty much wraps up your April 2018 mid-month general readings. I hope that you enjoyed it or found it helpful and useful, because that's why we do these. Again, if any of you are interested in a more personal, tailored just for you one-on-one reading, you can either look at the description bar of all of my videos or go to my YouTube channel's homepage and click on that little About button for more information and my contact details. Please feel free to email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be most happy to work with you and set up a personal reading, live or recorded, as quickly as we can. And for really quick answers to those really quick questions, you can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy, and that's also with my contact details. So Virgo, I hope I didn't say Gemini, because I just finished Geminis. I sometimes get tripped up with that, as a lot of us psychics do. But the intent, this is for Virgo, April 2018 mid-month, just to clarify. So Virgo, I hope this has been helpful to you. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the May 2018 general readings. And until then, as I always say and I always mean, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Take care, Virgo, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.